BTotW.
Hello and welcome to You Heard It Here. Eventually.
No pause. No
I think I
pause
got three
today.
dots. I'm not even sure.
You did.
Okay, good. So the biggest thing from the week is probably both of our big titties of the week.
100%.
I don't even know if it was technically this week. When did it? Oh yeah, like
August
8 days ago, 9
31st,
days ago.
Yeah. So technically.
Yeah, like 9 days ago, technically.
But we watched it a week within recording this. So it counts.
Yeah, I think I watched it over 2 days.
Yeah.
I watched like the first 3.
And then when you finished, I binged like the last like 4.
Yeah. Talking about One Piece live action.
Yeah.
Because we didn't actually say it out loud yet.
A great show. I think for me personally, just as a show, I'd give it like a 7 or 8. But then I think because it's a live adaptation of an anime that everyone expects to be so bad, you got to give it credit for that. And I think for me, it goes like 8, 9.
I would say for me as an adaptation, it's a 9 out of 10. As a show, probably like a 7. I just think like objectively looking at it, if I didn't know One Piece at all, I would think it's an okay show.
Yeah.
Like they do some weird things. They don't
Which is
explain
interesting
it,
because I know people who don't like anime at all whatsoever, have never seen One Piece. They watch this and they're like, I actually kind of like it.
Yeah, because it modernizes the first few and it fixes like the pacing of the beginning of his manga. There were just too many like faceless Marines, faceless like little shit pirates that no one cares about and never coming back. And they basically got rid of all that, which is a plus for sure for me.
I think since we both like it, then it's clear that we both like it. I think first we talk about things that we didn't like about it, so that it doesn't seem like we're shitting on it all the time. We get this out of the way, and then we compliment.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, so one thing that I didn't like, I have a couple things overall. I don't like that Roger never said, "Hey, it's the One Piece." Because then it's like,
yeah, that's so weird.
How did they know the name of One Piece?
That was so I want to find the One Piece. I guess they're planning to eventually in the future like have someone bring it up.
Well, because the next time you really hear about it lore wise in the show, I feel like the next time you officially hear about it is Whitebeard at Marineford.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they're gonna have Whitebeard do it. They'll introduce Whitebeard and do it. But I mean,
but either way, they all know the name already. But it's like, how did they know the name?
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna still have to have a flashback with Roger, which like you can keep going, but he's one of my minor negatives, I think.
I didn't mind him. I don't think we saw him enough for me to like really form an opinion. I like that Garp was up there, and they had a little conversation. I wish that they maybe, because like obviously when he wrote it originally, he probably didn't know about God Valley. But like now that we know about God Valley, it would have been cool if like they mentioned that somewhere in their conversation. Another negative that I had, frick, I just had it and I lost it. You give one while I think of this.
Well, I mean, one of my negatives was the guy that they got to play Roger. You don't see him a lot, but his like opening line, like it's all in one piece, and like his general look, like he just looks like a classic pirate, and not like a One Piece pirate. He looks like a Pirates of the Caribbean pirate.
I wish
more
like,
than a One Piece pirate.
I wish that I know like it's more so like anime and manga the reason that they have perfect teeth, but like Roger's smile is like so iconic. So I feel like he should have had like pearly whites.
And his teeth are fucked up. Yeah.
Like he had like Jack Sparrow teeth, Yeah.
So that was like one of the things. I didn't think that he was a great casting just based on the 10 seconds that you have of him.
Yeah.
But he would come in later. And I'm sure that if they do get that far, they would have to recast this guy.
Yeah.
Like for sure.
But also like, so like one of my, not like negatives, but like you obviously can't show everything with the flashbacks. Like they all wouldn't show like Sanji's flashbacks from Whole Cake Island, but this kid's gonna grow up. Like in like Zoro, we're gonna see more flashbacks when he gets like when he talks to the dude on the cliff, in Wano. If we ever get that far, it's like these people are gonna grow up, and it's just like I feel like it's so hard to do live action anime for that reason solely.
if you do a lot of flashbacks, they don't
Yeah.
necessarily need to do them. Like they could do like they could intersperse in like not the anime itself, but like maybe like some animated drawing of what he went
Yeah.
through, kind of stuff, almost like a comic book style, and kind of bring it back to its roots that way.
Mhm.
You know, think of like Infamous One's cutscenes.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
they could do something like that, and then they could just draw it or whatever. They could use the likeness of this kid
Yeah.
and do it. I mean, same thing with like Zoro. He was pretty old as a
Yeah.
kid
Yeah,
already when
that
they were
that I
doing that.
thought he was a little too old, but
Yeah, but it's tough. It's like the Percy Jackson thing.
yeah.
They're like 11 or 9 years old in the story. It's like you can't cast someone that young to make them do like sword fighting, like real
Exactly.
sword fighting and
Yeah.
stuff.
Um,
Uh,
I had another
you go,
negative,
yeah,
I
go.
still can't think of it.
Oh, well, for me, another negative was the this one's like I'm torn on it being a real negative, at least the Sanji one, but like the big emotional scenes, the two big emotional scenes from the first season that we would have passed already is Sanji says bye to Gef, right? Or Zeph,
Zeph, yeah.
sorry. He says bye to Zeph, and I mean like in the anime, he like gets down. I'm pretty sure I remember this. He gets down on his hands and knees
Yeah.
and like does like a bow and thanks him for everything he's done and stuff like that. And in the live action, they do like, hey, you know, all this time in your shitty restaurant working, you know, making your shitty food and stuff, and then it turns emotional, and it made me feel emotional, so I'm fine with it. I know that they kind of have to make it more globally appealing, and it can't be like bowing here and doing like they want people wouldn't understand it necessarily.
Yeah.
So I was okay with that one. I do wish that for such a big scene, they kept it maybe a little bit closer.
Yeah, I wish that was one of my negatives. I wish that like he doesn't have to bow, but he should have been like crying a lot.
Yeah, I think it should have been he should have been more emotional saying goodbye to someone who's essentially been his only real father
Yeah.
figure in his life,
Especially
right?
like knowing his
Sacrificed a
past.
leg.
Yeah.
I do like that they kept it like what was it 45 days, 47 days or something like that,
No, it
where
was
he
like
survived just by eating his
yeah.
leg.
It was like
Like so
70 days.
unrealistic, but yeah,
Yeah.
70 days. It's so unrealistic.
Yeah. Listen,
Absolutely
he took
unrealistic.
a bite a day.
Yeah, and he drank like his blood or something. I don't
Mhm.
even know. Right. Um I mean, even like Sanji's food would have just straight up gone bad. Like it would have been
Yeah.
inedible by the time. Like it's just anime unrealistic, but who cares, right?
Yeah.
So I like that they kept all that. Like they went ridiculous with it. They didn't say like, oh, let's ground it in realism because I think that's where a lot of live actions end up losing
Yeah.
like some of their magic and some of their appeal. And then so my other one, which is the same kind of negative, is I thought the Nami scene was well done
Mhm.
for the show, but not nearly as well done as in the anime. Like that scene is so emotional when he puts his hat on her
Mhm.
head and just walks past her basically silently.
Mhm.
I don't know why they had him scream out, "Of course I will," 3 times
Yeah.
and like launch it like up in the air. And like the rest of the crew isn't even really there. They're not really the way that she said it, they wouldn't hear it
Mhm.
without super hearing, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't really get the impact of the scene. Like, so I feel like they kind of whiffed on that one. But that's really the only big scene where I think like that was kind of a miss.
I
That's my one negative from there.
I think my negative from that scene or from that whole Arlong arc is in the manga, Luffy doesn't know her past at that point. They don't talk to Nojiko or Genzo, whoever told them. Like he's literally just helping her because like he's friends with her. And
Just his
like
navigator, yeah.
yeah, and this is like, "Oh, I'm going to help you." Obviously his reasoning, we don't know it. We're not in his head, but like this one you can argue like his reasoning is like, "Oh, I feel bad for you." When
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like there was another
Yeah, I
one that I
agree.
can't think of, but it can't be that important if I can't remember it. But yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I'm pretty sure they also changed I really I meant to look this up to be sure, but didn't the townsfolk know that Nami was doing it all for their benefit
I
and they were
don't
just
think
putting
so.
on airs and stuff?
I could be wrong
Really?
too, but I think they don't know.
I could have sworn like the head guy with the general's hat, he
Mhm.
knew. I could have
Maybe.
sworn like he'd said something about it, like they had like little flashback scenes where they knew, or
Mhm.
like they had like internal monologue scenes where they say something to Nami and then they say thank you for all you've done, like in their heads, right? Like the voice in their head thing.
Maybe,
I could
yeah.
have sworn that happened, but I mean, again, I could be misremembering it.
Yeah, it's been so
If it,
long.
I mean, it wasn't a negative the way they did it for me. I don't
Mhm.
care about that change. That change is more, I mean, just it is more realistic that they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Why would they assume that she's doing this, right? Um,
I
but yeah,
what was I gonna say? Oh, I love that they still like kept that little mouse rat marine bitch and didn't just have him like a little dude.
Yeah, I like that. I do like that they're doing all that stuff, like the hair colors. They're
I
going
I
crazy with the
really
hair
was
colors.
not expecting green-haired Zoro and orange-haired Nami. I was expecting like dirty strawberry blonde Nami and like black hair Zoro.
Yeah, and also like pink hair Kobe,
Yeah.
red hair from Shanks, like
Mhm.
all of them.
Yeah.
Like it's actually, and it's pretty, it's well done.
Mhm.
Like how they do the makeup for sure. I saw a video of Buggy getting
Yeah,
his
I saw
makeup put
that.
on. It's a long ass process. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I
So
oh, the other thing I liked Usopp's arc like about equally as the anime, which isn't that much, but like I don't like how Django wasn't in it because you clearly see his wanted poster. So it's like he exists in the live action universe. In one of the walls you see it, like in the background. You also see Cavendish for some reason, which is kind of
mhm.
cool. Um so leaving him out was kind of weird, and then also that girl sibling was so cringe every time she was on screen. I physically had to cringe.
Which one?
Kuro's underlings, the girl one with the blue hair.
Yeah, yeah. The black cat
Honestly,
pirates or
both of them
whatever.
were cringe, but it was something about that girl that made me cringe.
Yeah,
Also, like
I wasn't enamored with them.
some of the changes, I love the change. Like, or all, I don't know if this was changed or it was like this in the anime, but all of the flashbacks that we got, that it was like intercut with present day. I really like that.
Mm.
But I didn't really like the whole like Luffy drank the poison soup or whatever. Zoro falling asleep and falling in the wells, whatever, because then they were able to make a he doesn't know which direction he's going joke afterwards.
Yeah.
But like Kobe getting Luffy and like that was all weird. I don't know. I feel like Garp should have been there if they thought Luffy was there.
So I get what they're doing with showing so much Garp and Kobe and Helmeppo.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the anime, they're just gone. And then out of nowhere, they like have these awesome marine abilities because Garp's been training them. And it's
Yeah.
just like kind of like it's that slap, like it just slaps you with
Mm-hmm.
that information. Which in anime and manga, they do that all the time, right? The
Yeah.
big reveal kind of stuff all the time. I think in the show, to show it, if they're going to introduce an actor as awesome as Garp's actor,
Mm-hmm.
use him to his fullest, basically.
Yeah.
Um, so I do like that they included him. I love how they showed him so strong. I was saying to Karina when he came on and he was on the ship and they were first kind of attacking Luffy, they kind of caught up with him. I was like, he better throw a fucking cannonball
Mm-hmm.
with his goddamn bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, right away he does it. And
Yeah.
then Luffy bounces it back like with his like gum gum balloon or whatever that they did and
Mm-hmm.
announce as they only do finishing moves.
Yeah. I also like
Um,
I don't know, like I feel like Luffy had more moves in his arsenal in the anime, and this time he was like, I didn't know I could do that. So I don't know if the first time he used balloon in the manga or anime, it was some similar thing, or he just already knew how to do it. I feel like he had all these moves the whole time.
yeah, I think that he'd done it already. Yeah, he had already done. He didn't. He wouldn't have said in the anime, "I didn't know I could do that."
Yeah,
Like it's just one of his abilities. Like he definitely practiced his abilities when he got the gum gum fruit.
yeah.
On
Also,
the island.
this thing I don't agree with, but I saw some people complaining. They think that there was too much Zoro Nami like love thing going on. Which I don't really see. Maybe I could maybe see it in Baratier the like night before Mihawk arrives and stuff. But
Hmm.
I was reading something and it was like one of Oda's requirements for giving them the rights to do live action was no one can have a love interest, and like it's just chemistry between the actors. Like
Hmm.
I didn't see that as love. I just saw it as two acquaintances talking.
Yeah, I think that people confuse like flirting with just friendship
Yeah.
a lot nowadays. Like because people don't really know. There is no real hard line difference, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
it's like anyone at any time in real life could like start hooking up with someone if they think that they feel a connection or a spark or
Yeah.
something. But obviously, like that starts somehow. Like you can have a really good friend that you just connect with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they both have troubled pasts. They're both kind of hiding their past. They're ashamed of some aspects of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I mean, I kind of like also that they changed Zoro a little bit because I'm pretty sure the teacher blamed Zoro for his daughter's death and he like was upset with Zoro.
I don't know.
I'm pretty
I don't
sure. I
remember.
remember that very specifically, so
Yeah.
I'm very positive of this one. I'm glad they just changed it so like, she ended up there was an accident. They didn't even say in the anime she falls and trips down the stairs and hits her head and dies.
Yeah, in the
Like,
4 Kids dub, she gets like assaulted. I don't know how the 4 Kids dub made it more fucked up, but like I'm pretty sure they said some bullies like fucking assaulted her and killed her.
yeah. But I'm pretty sure the actual adaptation is like she slips falling
Yeah.
down the stairs. She's like sneaking out to do extra training to keep up with Zoro or something, and she slips and falls, and the teacher blames Zoro for, her feeling the drive or like the need to go do that or something.
Hmm.
But he still gives Zoro the sword.
Yeah. I love that they
Um,
kept the sword name the same, didn't try to translate it. I love that Luffy tried to say it and said like Wadi Ichi Monkey or something.
yeah. What a itch your belly or something like
Yeah.
yeah. He just said something funny, and then they go what? And he's like, that's the sword's name.
Yeah.
He is
That is
the first.
Luffy.
I think I'm basically done with my
Yeah, me too. We can go
critiques
positive
of it.
now. Yeah.
So like we're just doing positive now. I think I loved all the castings.
Yeah.
My only concern at first was Sanji. I think that he's doing maybe a little bit too like actual success, what would be successful flirting,
Hmm.
and less like pervy flirting, which I know
Yeah.
now they probably can't really do it the same way. But I do like that the women are having the same reaction.
Yeah,
So
like
he's like, "Hey
Nojiko at
Nami,"
the
and then she's
end.
like, "Guys," and she runs
Yeah.
past them and him and hugs like Zoro and Usopp
Hmm.
because she's been with them longer. So it just makes sense that she would run to them, right?
Yeah.
And then Sanji just like looks disappointed, puts his hands in his pocket, starts smoking. Say, "I love that he smokes."
Hmm.
I know that probably they probably had to fight for that now to have Sanji like actually be a smoker
Yeah.
in the live action show. Um, and I also like that they are just cursing because anime
Yeah, I was very
is for all
surprised to
ages.
hear that fucking clown from Zoro right at the end. There was one fuck right at the end of the
The
show.
one fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
They basically followed the PG-13 rules,
Hmm.
But Sanji's saying like shitty this, shitty that,
Yeah.
He's like going full like kind of British level of cursing, which they're a little bit more loose with it than we are.
Hmm.
Um, so I like that a lot because there's a bunch of anime where they like give people the finger and they actually like say fuck you and fuck this and fuck that and stuff. And when we translate it here, it's like anime is a cartoon, so it's for kids and everyone, and they kind of tamper it down. Even now, I think they do a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm glad that the live action they just basically stuck with it. I mean, they had fucking axe hand Morgan. He had an axe hand. He had all the axes hanging on his goddamn wall. He had the metal jaw thing. I mean, it wasn't exactly his jaw. You could see his mouth
Yeah.
underneath it, but it was a look, and they went with it. They had Garp in his hat. I
Hmm.
like
The
with his
dog
fucking
hat.
dog
Yeah.
hat. Like, just everything about it. I think Garp might be my favorite casting. I like all
I
the
think. Yeah.
casting, but Garp might be
Garp
my
had that
absolute
like
favorite one.
guttural laugh when Luffy deflected the thing. That sold it for me. I liked him
And
before
he's
that,
also
but yeah.
laughing in those moments.
Hmm.
And then he's laughing in those moments. That's exactly what he would do,
Yeah.
you know?
No, yeah. I think the casting like this this is Luffy like how Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Like I obviously don't know a lot of like actors that age so maybe there's a better one, but like for me like I can't picture another actor being as good as some of the ones that were casted.
Yeah.
Like I two of them made me like characters that I don't really like in the anime and manga. I hate Buggy. He was like incredible. And
Yeah.
same thing with like Usopp.
I feel like Buggy might be like top 3. Like for casting
Yeah.
wise, as like just a great part for like a great role. Like he's killing it. I think his Garp is number 1.
Mhm.
I think then Buggy and then Mihawk.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of them kill their characters.
Mhm.
Absolutely dead
Like if
on
they didn't
exactly
read
how
the
they'd be
manga
likable.
or watch like anime with their scene, I would be so surprised. They had to have.
Yeah, I feel like they must have
I
for
love that
sure.
Buggy made a little she santy about Nami's ass. That was hilarious.
Yeah, his banter was actually funny and not just like cringe scream. I
Yeah.
think it's mostly the voice actor. The
Yeah.
Japanese voice actor really has like that high pitched, like kind of annoying, screechy voice.
Mhm.
And I feel like this guy having the deeper voice when he's like, "No, it's so sandy and dark and everything,"
Yeah.
like like the Japanese voice actor saying that would sound annoying, but this guy saying it, it just sounds like funny and the way that
Mhm.
I'm sure Oda intended it
Yeah.
in when you read the manga. So, but now that since I watched the anime first, I can't get that voice out of my head when I read the manga.
Mhm.
So I just hear that just in English screeching at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, Buggy, get off the goddamn Get out of the page. Get off the
Mm-hmm.
goddamn manga.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I yeah, go ahead.
I loved pretty much most of the flashbacks. I think Shanks did a good job. I loved his whole his present day scene with Mihawk,
Mhm.
him waking up hungover. I could still take you thing. That was cool.
Yeah, that was like spot on out of the manga too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think he had a good on screen vibes with the young Luffy. I think the young Luffy did a good job.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know, just everything about the casting. I think like again, besides like that one girl, I can't think of a casting that I was like, I don't know about this one. Maybe
I'm just
what's
yeah.
her face? Freaking Kaya. But that might be because she's sickly in the show. So I don't really get to see her too much.
Yeah, I thought that she was fine. I imagine that she won't have much, going forward.
We will see her one more time if we get far enough to when like either they reunite or Usopp gets his first bounty. It's something like that. You see her one more time, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Did you care that they
I know
kissed?
you
Because
do.
that didn't happen.
No, I didn't care that they kissed.
Yeah, because I didn't either. Some people
Because
did.
like I know he maybe if Oda said no one has a love interest, it's pretty obvious that he's in
Yeah,
love with her in the
yeah.
manga. So I don't think that Oda would really care about that. But also, I'm pretty sure Oda probably watched literally everything and probably gave his stamp of
Oh yeah, no.
approval
When he said no love interest, I think he meant between the Straw Hats.
between the
Yeah,
crew. Yeah, or like between the main characters.
yeah.
Because if Luffy all of a sudden is like, "Damn, Boa Hancock is sexy as fuck," like I
Hmm.
think that Oda will probably be pretty pissed.
Yeah.
Um,
I loved the change with Baratier. Like fuck
well,
Don
first before
Krieg. Oh, okay.
Well, before the one casting I think I told you I'm a little tentative about. I Shanks is good
Mm-hmm.
in the happy-go-lucky, like, let's
Oh
all just
yeah.
have fun. But I'm not sure if he will kill the like post-war the best
Yeah.
scene and like the other serious ones where he's actually fighting
Mm-hmm.
or where he's using hockey and he's like legit. Like the hockey thing with the Sea Beast was good,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't know if he has the presence that I expect from Shanks. Like when Luffy and him finally do fight, or whenever Shanks really does fight, like in the manga, and we get to see it,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be something to like fucking behold. It's going to be like Saitama versus Tatsumaki.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be just like bam, so much power flying left and right. He's so goddamn strong. He has such a presence,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I kind of don't know if this actor will kill that. I mean, I'm not saying he won't. I just have reservations about him exclusively
Yeah.
left. But I
I
don't think that he's going to do a bad job. He hasn't done a bad job yet. I'm not sure if he can kill that scene specifically.
I saw some people complaining about the CB scene, and they were like, "This scene needs to take place in the ocean and not in
The
the
boat.
boat because you need to know that Shanks doesn't have a devil fruit and he's doing something that the reader or watcher doesn't know, which obviously now we know is hockey at that point, but at the beginning you're just like, what the fuck did he do? But
Yeah.
like I just feel like it would have been weird, like the actors like flailing around in the water trying to stay like I
I've
don't
seen,
yeah.
I've seen the drawing of that, and
Yeah,
it's
when
like this is
it's
the
a feat,
above,
yeah.
and then the below it's just Shanks like kicking
Yeah.
like rapid fire to stay at the exact same level. Like it's just not something that's possible in live action
Yeah.
unless they're fishermen.
Mhm.
He's not a fisherman. Like that would be so. Oh yeah. The only other negative,
Mhm.
not having what was it, Hachi?
Yeah.
The
That's yeah.
one character who they left out of Arlong's whole crew, probably because he was just too hard to make. Because he actually uses like 8 swords and he has 8 arms because he's an octopus fishman.
Yeah.
He comes back later.
That the one who comes back. And it's like, okay, maybe for the live action, you have one of these other fucks come back. Like Kurobi had like he looked kind of cool when he was giving Nami the tattoo and stuff. To be
Yeah.
honest, like it doesn't matter which one comes back. It's not like Hachi ever said during Arlong's arc, like, "Oh, I need to go back to that place."
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was very weird to leave him out.
I mean, he's the one that Zoro has the fight with.
Yeah,
Like that's the big one-on-one fight that they have, but they didn't do any of those ones yet, like where it's like 1v1,
they only did
you're
Usopp
my main
versus
counter.
Chu.
Yeah, they kind of did that, and they kind of did Sanji, but they did Sanji and Zoro versus the Fishman Karate,
Yeah,
basically. But and like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't like how this is just me griping on the character though. I didn't like how Usopp like faked dead, got away with it, and then announced he was still alive. Why'd you
yeah,
even fake dead?
yeah.
just to get him to turn around. Like, I mean, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you're gonna call it your finishing move, that's fine, but call it out, and then he turns around and he gets hit by it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. But that was my last gripes. I'm sure of it now. I
Yeah.
just remembered that one when we started talking about when we started talking about Baratier, because I liked that they introduced Arlong there.
Yeah, I thought that was very cool. I like that Mihawk one shot Don Krieg. Mainly because it's
And
just
then cut
like,
the fucking boat.
yeah, I loved that. Because it's like, to people who know the anime or the manga, it's like we know who that is, but like to someone else who's just watching it for the first time, it's like, whatever. And that's basically
Yeah.
what Don Krieg is.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved Arlong showing up there. I loved that Nami decided to stay behind and that him coming back was the reason that she left.
Mm-hmm.
Because that feels like more like what she would do than what she does do.
Yeah.
Another one that's not related to Baratier. I fucking loved the Mr. Seven scene so
Yes.
much. Zoro fucking bisected a man.
Yeah.
And you like saw everything. Yeah. He just carried his
when
upper half.
when they did that, I was like, okay, so they're actually going to go mature for this one. Like,
Yeah.
that's what, before anyone cursed,
Mhm.
I was like, okay, so they're definitely making this a not for like a 4-year-old kid
Yeah.
level of show. They're not making it like a cartoon come to life.
Mhm.
So thank God. Yeah, I liked that scene a lot.
Yeah, because in the manga, I don't know if it happened. I saw the panel in the manga. I'm sure it happens in the anime. For those who don't know, Zoro at one point says, "Oh, Baroque Works tried to recruit me. Some guy, Mr. Seven, came up to me and I denied him. So we never saw that, but now we did for this season. So that'd be cool if like they get a season 2 and we see that actually play out this time. Which news on season 2? One Piece is currently the most records broken. It beat Stranger Things season 4 and it beat Wednesday. It was 86 countries number 1 simultaneously.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that could stop a season 2 is depending on how week 2 goes, because they said they want to see an increase, which is kind of weird to me, because wouldn't you just want to see, like, if everyone watches the week 1, like, who cares? I think like
seeing an increase is almost I don't like that that's their logic. Netflix does some stupid, like horrendously stupid things.
yeah. The other thing that scares me
anyone,
is a strike.
yeah. Well, I don't think that'll affect the viewership numbers. I think what'll affect the viewership numbers.
Oh no, I don't mean for viewership numbers. I just mean getting a season 2. Like,
oh,
yeah.
Well, I want to go to that, but after for the viewership thing, I think anyone who is a fan of One Piece already is probably watching.
Yeah, and we're already on week 2,
already
and
watching the
they've
live
probably already
action.
seen the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, having more viewership, like what they expect is a show that no one knows about, that's an original series,
Yeah.
to do well, and then word of mouth marketing campaigns, it goes crazy week 2.
Mhm.
That's not how it's going to happen when there's an original source material that's
Yeah.
so popular already. There's so many people that are going to watch it because they're fans of the existing media.
Yeah.
So I don't like that that's their logic. And if they really say like, "Oh, we're not sure of a season 2 because of that," I hope that someone in Japan Netflix just walks in the office and fucking Zorro bisects everyone in the executive room in America.
I get
All the
it.
head honchos at Netflix. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, I
The
think
strike.
if you break that many records, 86 countries number 1 at the same time, like, you deserve a season 2. Clearly,
Yeah,
people like this.
and it's breaking the record of Stranger Things is their darling
Yeah.
series. It's their number 1 series, I'm sure, at
Wednesday got a
Netflix's
season
office.
2 confirmation, like, when they broke those records. I'm pretty sure, because I think
Yeah.
Stranger Things had the record first, then Wednesday broke it, and now One Piece broke it, and I think that should be enough for basically a season 2 confirmation.
Yeah. And if you want to get viewership numbers up, confirm season 2. I'm sure there are a bunch of people that are like, "Oh, a new Netflix series. Fuck that. I'm going to wait till see if it's going to continue."
Yeah.
Like, why would I invest my time if it's going to be a one and done?
Mhm.
You know? So, I don't like that. If they really don't do a season 2 because of that, I'm going to be so pissed. I hope that Oda like shops it around to anyone else. Like Amazon would 100% do it.
Yeah.
Amazon's big on anime. They host the anime awards on Twitch like
Mhm.
every year because they're big on it. Hulu has a whole like big anime marketing side to it.
Yeah.
So either one of them would probably do it if the rights went up in the air and Netflix really was like, nah, we dropped the rights.
Yeah.
Just keep the same cast.
But that's the
Like
problem
literally
is
just move everyone
some of these
over.
like bitch companies just hold on to the rights just to keep them. They don't do
Yeah.
anything with them.
Kind of like Sony with Spider-Man.
Yeah. But also like
Now they're doing okay.
fucking Ned's Declassified, they wanted to do a remake or like a adult survival guide, and they pitched the show to Nickelodeon. And they were like, no. And then Nickelodeon, or they were like, can we buy the rights for you? And they're like, no. Like, you're not
Yeah.
doing anything with them.
That's like NBC owning Walt Disney's first ever like cartoon,
Yeah.
Oswald the
Yeah.
Lucky Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they refused to sell it to him, and he was like, "Well, fuck you guys. Then I'm gonna make Mickey Mouse." And now
Mm-hmm.
here we are. You
Yeah.
know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um. But yeah. What were we talking about? Baratier and
You were talking about changes in Baratier. You really liked Baratier.
yeah.
And then I said the Arlong thing, but I don't think that's what
Oh,
you
we
were
were
gonna
talking
say.
about the strike.
Oh
I
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to say something.
I just
Listen,
wanted to say,
I support all actors, and I think that they all deserve fair wages. But I heard that video games are getting looped into the strike now, and if we delay anything, I'm gonna throw a fit.
yeah, they're talking about striking on the video game stuff next.
Which
I
like
feel like that's like a whole different set of actors, though.
yeah,
Almost, it's all the voice actors, and not a lot of them are part of like the Screen Actors Guild.
yeah. But like I saw
So
one thing that said like Aaron Paul from Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad, like he got $0
he
from
gets,
Netflix.
yeah.
Like that's crazy.
There's no like royalties or whatever for how much is streamed on a
Yeah,
streaming
I think
platform,
like
which is
AMC
crazy
gets
and
the
should be
money,
redone.
but he doesn't
Yeah,
get the money. And
because
yeah, so
AMC's
like
brokered the deal with Netflix. Yeah,
yeah, so like I completely think that the strike needs to happen. I just as a person, I believe that. As a consumer, I want my media.
yeah. I think even as a consumer, I think I kind of stand with them because some of the things that it just goes to corporate greed in general.
Yeah,
But some of the things that they want from these actors is insane. Like 1 day's wage for for in for forever owning the right to your likeness.
oh yeah, I
Like,
saw that.
are you
Yeah,
fucking
like as
kidding
like
me?
background
One
actors, so that
day's wage?
they can AI you in the background. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
crazy.
could be the most AI'd character in cinema history. You could be in every single movie that comes out for the rest of the time, kind of like the Wilhelm scream, which they
Mm-hmm.
fucking used in One Piece.
Yeah,
Wah!
yeah,
You know, that's like the most used sound clip or something in history. If you were the most used artificially inserted person and you got $0 out of it, you got 1 day's wage, probably like a couple $100. I mean, that's just it's ludicrous that
yeah.
they think that that's fine and fair.
And yeah, some of the people like higher up are like, yeah, we're willing to wait this out, like the execs. And it's like, what do you mean? You will start to
Yeah,
lose money, and that's all you care about. So what
I
do you mean
hate.
that you'll wait this out? Like I just don't get their reasoning. Also, like the
Yeah,
amount of money they have. Like you can afford this and still live crazy wealthy.
yeah, yeah. They're just gonna dissuade like the actual talented people, and they might get like the people that are waiting for a big break to be like, yeah, sure, here you can use my likeness for
Yeah.
$400. You know. And then it's gonna all hell's gonna break loose. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I actually hate what's his name, Zaslav. I forget which. He's in charge of Warner Brothers.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Warner Brothers Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
He's advocating, at least from an article I read. He's advocating like, yeah, we need to get to the table. We need to come to an agreement. We need to get media processing again. Like he's one of the highest ones up there, and he's saying like, yeah, let's come to terms. Like let's bring everyone to the table again.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you have some traction there. But I'm sure there are always going to be some of the head honchos that are like, yeah, fuck these little babies. They think that they deserve all this stuff. Makes
Yeah.
you deserve it,
Yeah.
Mr.
Exactly.
Executive. What talent do you have besides looking at a spreadsheet and saying, yeah, release this in week 3?
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Like he definitely does not watch anything that he does. He just signs off on when shit comes out and how much money he gets.
Yeah. So
So anyways, Slade,
I hope it ends soon.
yeah.
But I don't I hope that I want them to just stick it out until they get fair
Yeah.
contracts and fair terms, part of their union and whatever other organizations are at play here.
Yeah.
Like I prefer that the studios are on the losing end of basically every argument in this because they've made too much money for so long.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, Slade strike tangent back to One Piece.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so TLDR loved pretty much. I don't think there were many changes that I didn't like. Like you can tell that Oda was involved with everything because
Hmm.
I was reading an article that was like if he had to redo Baratier right now, it would probably go like that, even if like he had to redraw it and everything. Um,
Yeah, the
'cause-
pacing.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like even like yeah, Arlong showing up and Luffy losing to him, you see that so much in modern day One Piece. Like you saw it with Crocodile, he loses 3 times or 2 or 3 times before he wins. Kaido, same thing. Like he loves to
Hmm.
do that.
Yeah.
So you could totally see that Oda was involved with that.
Yeah. Doflamingo, he doesn't really ever really fight him until,
Yeah, just the end.
but he, like the crew loses to him. Like
Yeah.
Sanji's leg almost breaks
Mm-hmm.
because his hockey is so much stronger. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I 100% think that he would have just said like Don Krieg who,
Mm-hmm.
and like because you can introduce Mihawk the way that he did it. He
Yeah.
could show Garp more, you know, now that well, I say that now that it's an established, property. Back
Mm-hmm.
when it was first coming out, everyone probably wants to do just the main character.
Exactly. Yeah.
People don't want whole issues dedicated to Garp. Now
Mm-hmm.
we get whole issues dedicated to the Marines where we see from their point of view, and it's like this is awesome information.
Yeah.
I get to know what the five elders are talking about. I want to know that now. But if
Mm-hmm.
you saw that, issue like 7, who the fuck are these old guys?
Yeah.
Like why? Yeah. So I get why he may not have been able to do it early on, and also, Oda. Now he's a powerhouse. Maybe back when One Piece was first coming out, his editors and producers had a lot more sway and say in
Apparently
what he
he was
did.
17 when it started. I had no idea. Dude is a prodigy.
He definitely did like a few other projects though, right?
Yeah, he did Monsters, which was getting an anime adaptation.
Yeah.
And he
Because
did like another
I know
one.
this
Yeah.
is like magnum opus, right? Like your
Yeah.
greatest work, but it's like 30 years of his greatest work so far.
Yeah.
Let's see just want to make sure he finishes it. At least he stays driven and does it. It's not like some of these other people like George R. R. Martin not writing
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones and like other people that get burnt out and have to move to Jump Giga or like, hey, I need a break of like a year from my anime or my
Yeah.
manga, I mean, you know?
I
Or like the
almost
studio that does Haikyuu that's like, let's just do 2
yeah.
movies, say like
So
fuck it.
stupid. I'm
So
still heated about that.
yeah, so am I.
Um but it is on the app, so honestly I might read it. Um
I'm gonna read it. I am gonna read it.
one of my almost gripes that was then fixed in the final episode is I thought we didn't see enough Gum stuff. I was like, where the fuck is Gatling the whole time? And then he finally
Yeah.
did it against Arlong. And then I love
His
that they
number 1
kept
move.
the axe or whatever.
Battle axe.
Battle axe, yeah, for Arlong's power.
I was saying that to Karina as it happened. I was like, he did Gatling finally, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna win it. He should win this with a battle axe with his
Yeah.
big kick, and then he just fucking does it, and he does it just like in the anime.
You just
Kicks
see the
through the
footstep.
fucking roof, comes down and smacks him down to the fucking planet, like
Mhm.
back into the core of the earth or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's enough One Piece.
Well,
TLDR. Oh,
what do we think about? There's a couple other things.
Oh yeah, I did want to say, do you think that was Crocodile as a woman at the beginning? A lot of people are speculating this.
So I think yes, because of Ivankov. I've
Yeah.
thought about it. I've thought it for like ever since I read that theory. I've said that makes a lot of sense.
Or do you think I don't know. What if
Do
they
you think
just
that he's gonna
gender bend
she's
him for
gonna
the
stay?
whole for the whole
Yeah,
live
she's gonna
action?
stay a woman instead of
Mhm.
having like a trans actor or something.
Well,
I don't
also
know.
Kobe's actor I learned was transgender. Well, that's cool. I
Oh,
didn't
I
know
didn't
the
know
whole
that.
time. Yeah.
But I mean, they have a lot of other chances to have actors like that, like Ivankov, obviously, whoever they get with like whatever big head. I don't know how they're gonna do those. Once Oda goes into making characters huge to show
Yeah.
their power, I don't know how they're gonna do that. Like
That's
Big
why.
Mom,
That's why
Whitebeard, Kaido.
So we've talked about this, and we both don't know. You know how you feel about it. I'm unsure. I've heard rumors that potentially, even if the series lasts and gets so popular the whole time, I've read rumors that they might want to stop after Annie's Lobby, which, like, in terms of powers are starting to get a little wonky now, and it might be kind of weird to translate into live actions. I get, but as a lover of One Piece, I don't get it.
Yeah, I would be against that. 100%. They have such a good casting. It's like the Harry Potter cast.
Yeah.
They were such a good casting. If they stopped somewhere and then they had to redo it later, it would always be looked at like, oh, these actors aren't as good.
Yeah.
You know, this is not what I would have wanted. You know, I want this series to end. I want the series to end, but I wanted to bring that up because I think we're supposed to also see Dragon there, and we didn't.
Well, so he was
I know,
casted, and then we never
yeah,
saw him. So
that's so
maybe
weird.
maybe
Maybe
we
he
saw
is in
him just like for a glimpse.
a glimpse.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and
I would need to go frame
the
by
fact
frame,
that
but I
Garp
feel like
is
I
there
didn't.
though,
Yeah.
the fact that Garp is there though, you think he'd look in the crowd and see his own son.
Yeah. Which
You
also like
know,
have they
so
ever interacted in
no,
the manga? Yeah. So like
no. I feel like there's gonna be a big reunion at some point,
I don't want them to reunite
like the
until
monkey
Luffy's there.
family.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
want it to be
I want all
a
3 of them.
triangle. Yeah.
I want Luffy to meet his dad for the first time. Not give a shit about him.
Mhm.
Garp to be pissed at both of them for not being Marines,
Mhm.
and Dragon to just be like, Luffy's doing pretty good. Dad, shut the hell up. You know, like a classic family dynamic. I think, kind of right there.
Do you think this is not live action at all? So, and this also isn't spoilers. Do you think that Luffy's mom is just a nobody?
I don't know. I've never thought of that actually.
And do you think she's still alive? I feel like she's got to be dead or she's an
Yeah,
asshole.
I feel like she's got to be dead, or she's got to be like an impel down
Yeah.
or something. But I feel like there would have been some mention by Oda about like, oh, another inmate with Monkey, or oh no,
But
I
it
guess
wouldn't be
maybe she
Monkey.
wouldn't be.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be Monkey. Yeah, I don't know because
Because
fucking Sengoku knows everyone's.
Ace's mom was basically a nobody.
Yeah, she was
So,
basically, but I mean, she had the willpower to keep him in her womb
yeah.
for
20 months or
16
whatever.
months
Yeah,
or whatever,
16.
something like that. Yeah, something crazy. Not yet, baby.
Yeah.
Come out when you're eating, when you're teething. You know, come out once you've teethed. Uh, no, I think that she's probably dead. I think
Yeah.
that it's like this classic. It's just this classic like Japanese thing, like for Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you want to know about your mom? And he's like, no, my mom is the person who raised me. You know, he turns off the
Yeah.
fucking tape where that his dad is willing to talk about his mom.
Mhm.
And it's like she's probably a nobody, and probably that's the only reference we'll ever get of her in that whole
Yeah.
series.
Listen, that's one thing that
So
Naruto did well. Naruto fucked up a lot of times, but keeping like the
yeah,
mystery of the parents and then like actually seeing them was
yeah,
shouts out Kishimoto.
and
Fuck
he
that.
actually reunited them,
Yeah.
which is
Fuck that
awesome.
Boruto
Through
writer.
chakra.
But
Yeah, I mean, early on, it's so tough because the ones that span years, it's like early on they just have some fun ideas and then they flesh it out, and it's like, damn, they need to retcon the fact that the village was like assholes to this kid
yeah.
when he was the son. Everyone knows he's the son of the fourth Hokage, and literally no one ever says it. But you know, so they're like they would need to retcon a ton of stuff. And like we said, Oda probably would retcon and change the pacing of early One Piece, and maybe have different interactions with different crewmates and stuff, and have them bond in different ways early on and shit like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, if Dragon was at Logtown when it all went down, I would have expected to have maybe Garp like kind of recognize him or something. He did not start the Revolutionary Army at that point. So
Mhm.
maybe it wouldn't have been a big deal for Garp to see him. Like
Yeah.
maybe they were just like estranged at the time or something. They could go that route. But I think it is weird that we didn't. There must be like a glimpse of him somewhere. I feel like at some point someone will break down a video and be like, "This is the actor that was cast.
Yeah.
This is where he is." You know, they see him for like a split second or
Mhm.
something.
But like
The only
if we do get a season 2, they like cuz this makes it seem I don't remember in the anime if they leave Arlong and they're like, "Hey, we're going to the Grand Line," and then they stumble on Logtown, or if they're like,
Logtown
"Hey,
is the last stop on the way there.
yeah."
Like it's the
But
island
like
you have to hit before you get to that like
yeah,
river.
so like wouldn't they it just concerned me. Maybe they didn't mention it because they don't know if they're getting a season 2, but it was weird to me that they didn't mention it and said, "Hey, we're going to the Grand Line." I was like, "Are they going to don't skip nothing."
Yeah, I don't think that they'll skip Lockdown.
Espe-
There's too much important stuff.
yeah, especially cuz they showed Smoker at the end. They got to do it, I feel
And
like. And Zoro gets
Buggy
his
actually gets the yeah. Go ahead. His
those
other swords.
yeah. They do the
Yeah, and
cool
it's such an important scene.
yeah.
Yeah, it's such an important scene to show you like what a badass swordsman he's going to become after losing to Mihawk.
Mhm.
There's that he has to meet
Mhm.
Tagatashi, whatever, you know, Smoker's admiral or whatever
Kuina
vice person. Whatever, I don't know the
reincarnated.
fucking term. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Smoker, he has to run into Smoker. run
Mhm.
into him, literally run into him, and be like, "Hey, I want to know how to get to the thing," and then Smoker points to it with his cigar smoke.
Mhm.
You know, like you
We
need to
gotta
have
have
those scenes,
Alvita have the smooth fruit or whatever the fuck she eats.
and they're definitely building up to that, where
Yeah.
her and Buggy would come back in Logtown.
Mhm.
She would look like that. Maybe they need 2 years for season 2 so that actress can naturally lose all the weight, get all the muscle tone. I mean, you could probably do it in a year, but I know
Yeah.
you can't like for health reasons, you can't lose like a ton of weight really quickly.
Or
You know?
like honestly, they always could listen, and I support all people of all body shapes. They could recast if they needed to.
Yeah, yeah, they could. Not
Because she
Buggy,
looks like a
but they could.
different person.
Yeah, I mean, in the anime, you're not supposed to recognize her except for the
Yeah.
fact that she uses that club or
Yeah.
whatever, the same weapon. But they show her at the end with Buggy,
Mhm.
and Buggy gets for the only time he ever gets the upper hand on Luffy is in Logtown, where he
Yeah.
puts him up where Roger was executed and is about to kill him, and then Dragon does something.
We still don't
We
know what.
think people don't know if he has like the storm from now that ever since like the whole like Roger didn't have a fruit thing. I was reading up on it because I didn't remember it happened,
Mhm.
and like people are saying like so that the power dynamic shifted from devil fruits to hockey, but the
Yeah.
thing is when you combine hockey with the devil fruit, you gotta just be stronger than someone who's just using straight hockey. Like if you're on equal
Yeah.
footing with hockey and one of them has a devil fruit and one of them doesn't, unless you're fighting in the ocean,
But
like
that's the thing
the
is
person with the
like
devil fruit probably has the win.
that's why Luffy versus Shanks is probably gonna be a good fight because Shanks' hockey is fucking insane, and Luffy's hockey is good, but he also has the devil fruit.
Yeah. So yeah. So um and speaking of hockey, the other thing I know we wanted to move on, but maybe get on some other. So I don't want to spend. I want to keep this like to like kind of a condensed part, so I can
Yeah,
eat.
that's fine.
But I did want to also mention. So one of the badass things was Luffy versus Garp,
Hmm.
the actual fight they had, and I think they gave us a shade of how they would do hockey.
Yeah,
Observation hockey. They slow it down. Garp has like a sense about him, almost like a spider sense moment.
yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Hmm.
So the way that they've done spider sense since Tobey Maguire, they just kind of do it here. And it was such a cool fight and
Hmm.
such a good like cinematography wise, it was such a well put together fight. And that's when they introduced Gum Gum Rocket, which he
Yeah.
doesn't fucking use anymore because he can just jump wherever the hell he wants.
Hmm.
But they did Rocket, like Garp just literally manhandling the whole time. Luffy got 0 punches in. That's exactly how you would expect it to go, especially at this stage.
Yeah.
You know?
No, but
Um
yeah, the choreography was good the whole time. Like freaking Zoro's actor, the sword fighting was insane. He's like been
using three
trained to that.
swords.
Yeah.
I want to know how they did that. Because swords are heavy. I want to know if that was like a really realistic looking plastic sword or if that was like a green sword
Well,
that they CGI'd in
people were
later.
pissed because in the first episode, one of his sheaths when he's fighting bends with his body, and people were real pissed. They're like, how did this slip through the final watchings of it?
I
It's like
did not notice
you
that at
don't even
all.
notice it. I know.
Yeah. You have to go frame by frame. And if you're going to go frame by frame, like, yeah, the editors probably do, but they have to go frame by frame for so much extra stuff that we don't even see
Yeah.
that like that's cut out that they like decide to reshoot. And sometimes there's just not enough time to fix literally everything.
Yeah.
Like just let some things go. Seriously.
Editors
Like
don't get paid
that's
enough
wild.
as is.
Yeah. That's wild. But yeah, that fight awesome, and the way that they left, like the way that Garp treated him about it, and like is
Hmm.
like, yeah, we're gonna go catch the bad pirates now. Like Garp understanding there are good and bad pirates.
Yeah.
Like it leads up to him understanding how God Valley could happen.
Hmm.
You know, and then the last thing I want to say about One Piece was I loved the Smoker cameo at the
Hmm.
end because he has the two cigars and he burned Luffy's fucking wanted
Yeah. I
poster,
love the
which I
bounty.
think is what he does in the anime.
Yeah. The bounty looked awesome. I also
I like how
loved
they did
how
all the bounties.
yeah, like how they were interacting with the characters.
Yeah, they would like slice through it, or they
Hmm.
would grab it and toss it away and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Mihawk's sword, super anime realistic. You
Again,
know,
people are so nitpicky. They're like, "That's not a black sword," or if it is, it wasn't black enough because you could like see silver on it. It's like, calm the fuck down.
yeah, I know. There has to be some element of realism to it. Like it
Yeah,
can't just be. I don't know. They left a ton of realism out. So just deal with it, people.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're super fans of the series, and
Yeah, so
maybe
we're more
we would
lax.
be more nitpicky if what?
We're just more lax because we're getting a good adaptation of it for the first
Yeah, we've
time like
sat
ever.
through we've sat through all the rough ones,
Yeah.
and now we finally get something that was very well done, worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So that was the last thing I wanted to bring up. Like the cameos were good. The um the transponder snails, well
Yeah.
done too. All it's hard to pick something that was poorly done
Mm-hmm.
for me. So
I love that Full Body was there in Baratier, but he also like didn't really do much. Like he was again just there for like anime fans, but not really.
yeah, he was a
Um,
cameo, pink hair,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, oh, this is the asshole that I don't really care about. And then they
Yeah.
didn't use him. I was like,
Same
holy
thing with
shit.
Don Krieg's dude. Like he was there, but then he just never turned on Sanji.
Yeah.
That was cool. Um, Also Sanji's cooking scenes. I was like, damn, I like these. I love cooking shows, so pretty cool.
The
Um,
way he interacted with Zeph,
yeah,
they had good chemistry.
I think just every older actor pretty much knocked it out of the park.
hmm
Um,
Yeah. I think even Mary did
yeah,
a
which
good
he
job as the
died.
sheep
I
guy.
was like, damn, he doesn't die in the
Yeah.
actual one.
I know. I was surprised by that. I was thinking to myself, does he really die? I'm pretty sure that no one really
No,
dies.
he's the one who gives them the ship at the end.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I
not
thought.
Kaya.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we can do some Gamescom because that's gonna be short. Um, so
Yeah.
Gamescom happened. There wasn't like there. It was basically trailers for stuff that we already know and or release dates. Like we saw Mortal Kombat
hmm
1, we saw Alan Wake 2, saw Little Nightmares 3, Tekken 8, Assassin's Creed Mirage, like all this stuff. One thing that we didn't see but did happen that I wanted to talk about is that Nintendo reportedly demoed a Switch 2 behind closed doors.
I did see that today.
And
I just saw that today for the first time, like that article.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so apparently they ran um basically a souped up version of Breath of the Wild and said they used the demo ran using Nvidia's AI-powered DLSS upscaling technology alongside ray tracing with visuals comparable to the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, which we don't know if this is still going to be oh, it says never mind. Apparently this new next-gen console can be used in portable mode like the Nintendo Switch and has an LCD screen as opposed to OLED in order to keep costs down. It comes with cartridge slot for physical games. It just says the crucial question is whether those cartridges are going to be the same size and that Switch games would be backwards compatible with this.
Right.
But either way, if it's like the main thing with the Switch is an amazing console. It's the problem is that because it's handheld, it does not compare with even PS4 and Xbox One. But it doesn't even touch PS5 and Xbox Series X. Oh, if we're getting that level of quality in a handheld console, that's insane. Especially like for Zelda games, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I just want them to up their fucking hardware.
Yeah.
I don't even care what form it takes at this point. When you have one of your first party titles lagging, having
Yeah.
bad performance on your console, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Like they probably should have held this back or Switch 2. Tears of the Kingdom. If you were having performance issues, you should have just done that.
I didn't have too
I
many.
bet I had a handful. And when they happened, they were just so noticeable.
Yeah.
And it's like it's mostly in like the bigger cities and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is the same problem that they have with Pokemon now.
Yeah.
It's like when they're in a bigger area where they're trying to render more things. So yeah. I don't know. I just want them to up their hardware. I'm fine with it. It'd be funny if they do the same thing with the cartridges that they did with like between DS and 3DS.
Yeah,
Like to
really
make
just like
3DS unplayable, a little notch so it didn't
Mhm.
fit. And if you probably could have just cut that off and it would have worked on a DS.
Well, no, but you could still put DS games in the 3DS, and that's what
Yeah,
this would be.
you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be like that, yeah. But they would force you like it's basically like this game will run on a Switch. But
Yeah.
here's this little notch so you can't put it in the
Yeah.
slot.
No,
So, yeah.
this depending on I would need to see like specs and all that, but if it's real good, this could be a day one. I was hoping, or I was considering even getting an OLED Switch just because my Switch is getting a little old. And I got some big Joy-Con drift already. Basically, it's unplayable undocked.
Hmm.
So I was already considering getting a new one. I'll probably just wait now for the Switch 2. Some people were like, "Oh, is this just gonna be like a PS4 to PS4 Pro upgrade?" But I think if your visuals on the Switch look like a PS5, there's no way it's not like a separate whole console. Especially because we already got the OLED Switch. I feel like that was a PS4 to PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I was gonna say the OLED Switch has to be what the like the equivalent there.
Yeah.
This literally has to be another generation console. Like
Mhm.
it cannot be
And that
like
means
one
new.
minor step up.
That means new 3D Mario probably, which is awesome. Um, Probably they're gonna re-release Breath of the Wild for the millionth time. We're gonna get Skyrim again for the millionth time. We're gonna get, don't worry, GTA 5 for the millionth time.
Yeah.
Crazy. Also, speaking of Gamescom, this wasn't at Gamescom, but there's been a rumor recently that GTA 6 is gonna be $150 for the base game, and I think the only way it makes sense is if it's like, hey, you have this game, and then we're gonna give you a bunch of shit for online.
Mm.
But the problem with that is, as a consumer, I shouldn't be forced to buy online shit if I'm just gonna play the campaign.
Yeah. I
'Cause
feel like they would eventually release a regular price one that didn't have that stuff.
but still, like, if I like, let's say I'm a super fan of GTA 5, which I'm not. I don't really like
Mm.
GTA too much, but like, I should be able to play it day one without being forced to buy something online. Like, what if I didn't have internet? I
Yeah.
mean, I probably wouldn't be able to get day one patches, but what if I didn't have internet and then it's just useless to me? I think,
Yeah.
like, I'm completely fine with, like, hey, you have this $70 game, you got this 150 deluxe edition. I'm completely fine with that. It's just if the base game costs 150 and the reason that it's 150 is because of online stuff. If it's 150 because your game is so fucking huge that you genuinely feel like that's an okay price, I might buy it just because I'm dumbfounded. Because there's no
Yeah.
way it's worth 150 from just the
Literally
campaign.
double. Basically saying they did double the work of every other game studio on Earth,
Yeah.
right? So, and yeah, their games are big, but they're not the only company anymore that has enormous games.
Yeah.
Like Rockstar, they're not
I spent 85 hours on fucking Tears of the Kingdom ish. Probably more. Probably like 90. It was like 26 streams, and most of them are like 4 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I spent 80 hours on Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know anything about Witcher and I sucked at the game, but I
Fair.
spent that many hours playing the game and
Yeah.
it was a huge world. I'm sure Witcher 4 is going to be probably like as big as GTA games are. So,
Yeah. Like, people are shocked about the $70. I just feel like if we push to 150, we're setting a precedent for these companies to milk us for all we're worth.
yeah, they're basically it's basically going to come down to they're going to transition everything to be like subscription models and you get the game if you pay like monthly X amount of money. Like
I
basically like Game Pass.
I would end it all if that were the case. Because
Well, I mean,
again,
it's like Starfield. Starfield it's free on Game Pass, but if you
yeah,
paid full price for it, you could play it 5 days early.
yeah.
Like,
Which,
I
that
mean,
whole thing, so obviously they're the freaks in the world who are like, they're asking me my pronouns. I'm not gonna play this game, which is insane to me. Pokemon fucking asked you, are you a boy or girl in red and blue?
yeah.
Like, shut the. They
Well,
added
not
a
in
third
red and blue,
option.
but pretty
No, they
soon.
did. Oh wait,
No.
no. Oh no.
Oh, it was
Crystal.
third gen.
Yeah. No,
Third
you.
gen. Oh,
Yeah.
Crystal. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't think
So
it could
the
be
second
gold and
gen,
silver, but silver,
the
crystal. Yeah.
second gen of the second gen.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, insane. Like, get over it. They added a third option. Who cares? But I will say, I'm probably like, it's not a must play. I'll drop some games for it type thing. I've basically seen it's okay when people were
Yeah.
expecting a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Like people were like game of the year contender and now it's like, nah, not really.
Yeah. Which I was never huge on Bethesda. I like New Vegas a lot. I played Skyrim, never finished it. I know you're playing Skyrim right now. I don't know how you feel about it. It's okay. Like,
It's okay. Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like this game that, people that
Do
come
you
in the
think
chat
it's
are
deserved to be released 43,000 times?
no, I think they should have worked on an Elder Scrolls 6
Yeah.
for sure. Like Like it's good. It's obviously a good game. It was to its credit, it was the first game where they said, "Hey, you see that mountain over there? You can go there."
Yeah,
You
but
know,
didn't like
whatever rendered in the
Oblivion
world,
do
you could
that?
go there. I don't think so. I think
Oh,
Oblivion had a bunch of loading screens, and the loading screens are just the dungeons. But if
oh,
you see
okay,
it in the world, you can get there without a loading screen. I think that was like
gotcha,
the big draw, maybe.
gotcha.
Um, so to their credit, that was, for that time, it was an awesome thing. And then Breath of the Wild did it and just did it to the extreme.
Yeah,
So like Nintendo one up them there. As soon as Breath of the Wild came out, they should have stopped re-releasing Skyrim, and it should have been like Elder Scrolls 6 in development.
yeah.
Um,
What were you saying though? A bunch of
it's an
people in
okay game.
chat.
I don't understand the people that have like played every single class, that have
Yeah,
gotten
like
every
it's
skill up to level
probably.
100.
I by no means when I'm saying any of this, I'm saying it's a bad game. I'm sure it's a great game, but like people who dedicate their life to Skyrim scare me.
Yeah, I understand if it's your favorite game. If
Yeah,
it's your favorite game, it's your favorite game. Everyone has one. I mean, there are a ton of people that would probably play Jack and Daxter and be like, this game isn't really all that anything special.
yeah,
Fine. I mean, it's my favorite game. I will play it multiple times. But it's also a 6-hour game if you know what you're doing.
yeah.
Skyrim is like, even if you know what you're doing, if you don't mod it, it's probably like 20 to 40 hours of playing the game, just main story.
Hmm.
And these people are spending hundreds of hours on one playthrough to max out like blacksmithing so that they can do whatever this like, wonky build is so they can just like one shot the final boss or whatever. I don't know what the hell they're doing. The freedom it gives you is cool. The freedom
Hmm.
that Bethesda always gives you in their games is really cool, and it's refreshing, and it's something that I'm glad that they've done and stuck to throughout the years. But yeah, I don't think Bethesda is like the best game studio in history. Their games release with more bugs
Yeah.
than almost any other studio. I mean, CD Projekt Red would give them a run for their money. That's they're
But
like
I
the
feel
big
like,
two.
their thing is like it was Cyberpunk. Like I don't think when Witcher 3 came out, it was that.
When Witcher 3 came out, it
It
was like
was.
that.
Oh.
When I was reading articles for Cyberpunk, everyone's like, yeah, Witcher 3 is great 5 years later.
Oh. Okay.
Like, give Cyberpunk some time. But Cyberpunk was literally unplayable
Hmm.
on some consoles.
Yeah.
That was a problem.
Yeah.
So that never happened with Witcher 3. But the game was riddled with bugs. I mean, even when I played it, I had random things happening. I had some bosses that just like started stuttering in place, and I could just, manhandle. There was one of the final bosses in Witcher 3. There's a consistent bug that they've never removed where sometimes he just stands there, doesn't
Incredible.
attack you, doesn't do anything. He's the second to last boss. He's actually supposed to be tougher than the final boss.
Did
And
it happen
sometimes
for
there's a
you?
bug that triggers. No, it
Oh.
didn't. He kicked my ass. Uh, I was hoping it would happen when I saw that it could. No, he kicked my ass like 3 or 4 times. I think I lost to him. I died to him.
Damn.
And I was just on normal difficulty on Witcher difficulty or on grand whatever difficulty. He's got to be like basically a god in the
Yeah.
game, just kicking your ass left and right.
But yeah.
Like I beat that whole game, and then I tried to restart a new game plus and up the difficulty to the highest difficulty, and I couldn't beat the first 3 wolves that attack you.
Really?
So, yeah, I couldn't do it because you have to play the game like with all the mechanics, like using your poisons,
Oh.
like using your potions, going into battle prepared, using all their weaknesses. Like on the highest difficulty, you have to do that.
Damn.
So
That's crazy. We are at about an hour. So I don't know if we want to push everything
what else
else.
that let's the moment from history we can save for because I don't want to rush through it. That
Yeah.
one's especially the one that I wrote down.
Yeah.
Gamescom, yeah, I think we covered everything. There were a couple of like there wasn't really anything new. It was just like trailers of like, Assassin's Creed and some other things. We saw a ton of Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder's
Mhm.
new thing. He's like basically making Star Wars but like R-rated
Yeah.
apparently, which is go ahead. It's fine with me. So I'm looking forward to that. It's Netflix and they have an accompanying game. There's little things like that were announced, but nothing like year altering
No, I think the
was
biggest news
shown
was
or
the
announced.
Switch too, but
Yeah, and that
and
was like behind closed doors.
yeah.
No one actually knew about it until way after the fact.
Yeah.
Like Gamescom's been done for 2 weeks, and I just read about it today.
Yeah.
And it's a rumor that they demoed it behind closed doors.
But I feel like with the amount of people who are like this happened, like it if it didn't happen, we're all being gaslit and we need to not trust society anymore.
It's like one of those hoaxes when it's like a celebrity died and they post a picture of themselves with a today's newspaper.
Mhm.
Like, no, I'm not dead, but literally trending on Twitter,
Mhm.
like millions of people saying R.I.P. I loved every movie he was in,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think that it happens in gaming though. So yeah, probably. I think that it did happen. I'm just saying, like, it is still technically a rumor. I don't think Nintendo will say yes, we did it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we can. Yeah, I think we're good.
Sounds
Move
good.
other stuff to next week.
But you're
Try to get
moving.
back to weekly. Yeah, move. Well, yeah. I mean, we're recording this on Friday. I'm moving next Friday. So
Maybe we could do
season 3
season 3.
coming
It's
in hot.
happening.
We might be able to get one more with a finale of season 2. Might be able to get a finale.
All
I
right.
mean, honestly, One Piece live action is a pretty good finale of season 2, but
That is.
we can decide that later.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to just end it all?
Yeah. I mean, not
Okay.
end it all, but end the pod.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's well said. Well said. That's what
Mhm.
I meant too. I
Yeah.
think. Okay. Well, everyone, thanks for joining. I don't think we have a follow-up question.
Did
Just
you
what
watch
are your
One
thoughts
Piece
on
live
Live
action?
Piece?
Yeah. Live Piece?
On Live Piece. I keep calling it Live Piece. That's like the 7th time I've done that. Fuck.
That's funny.
Just call it Live Piece, everybody. So if you watched it, let us know what you thought about it.
If you didn't,
Whether or not, and
don't watch this anymore.
also,
I don't
yeah,
want you here.
and if you do critique it, or like if you do praise it highly, let us know if you're an existing fan or this is your first interaction with One Piece. I want to know that. I want to understand the differences, because obviously
Yeah.
both of us are just hardcore fans. But yeah, you didn't hear it here first. You didn't hear it here last. You heard it here. Eventually.